Hello viewers, welcome back to Face to Face, and this is the English spoken program, and we're gonna discuss about everyday life topics, from trending topics to interesting topics that you might be interested in. And for this episode, we're gonna invite one of the guests, which is a Binusian, and she's taking international relations as a major in Binus University. Curious about this major, so we're gonna invite she is one of the international relations students, so here it is. Here she is. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, let's have a seat then. Yeah, hello. What's your name?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Natasha.
Natasha. Oh,
Yeah.
so you're taking international relations major in Binus University. Maybe you can, first introduce yourself.
My name is Natasha. This year I'm 21, and actually, I am the first. How do you say it? What's the word?
The first.
I'm in the first class of international relations. Yeah. So it's only been 3 years for international relations department, and currently we have around like 500 students.
Oh wow, that's quite a lot.
That's a lot actually. For the new major, it's quite a lot.
It's good for a class for.
No, it's 3 classes.
Oh, 3 classes. Yeah. Oh, so it's a new major and it's presented by the Faculty of Humanities.
Yep.
Yeah, and so maybe you can tell more about the major that you are currently taking. I bet it's gonna be like some interesting major because it's maybe you can talk more about it.
Basically, if we are talking about international relations, it's not about communication, neither about English literature, neither about journalistic. It's none about those 3. Like, people often mistaken international relations as communication or as journalistic. Meanwhile, if you're talking about international relations, actually we're talking about multi-dimensional things. So, because we are talking about international affairs, we're talking about what is happening in the world. And basically we're talking about politics, we're talking about law, we're talking about social, economics. Even we're talking about migration and environment. That's what
more
we're
than that.
learning.
It encompasses more things than people would imagine on international relations. Yeah. So maybe you can talk more about your current activities in Binus University.
Currently, I'm as an active member of a dialectic society. So in international relations major, we have this club called as BIRDS. Yeah, BIRDS. It's Binus International Relations Dialectic Society. So, if you ever heard about MUN, it's a model United Nations.
Yeah.
So this club, basically we teach each other. It's like a peer group. So we learn about the simulation of international conference. We learn about how to debate. Currently, I'm the active member of debate team. So I'm in debate team.
Oh, so it's kind of like a diplomacy.
Yeah, like diplomacy, negotiation, and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell us, the viewers, about the reason why you choose international relations as your major.
Actually, it was an accident. It's an accident because in high school I knew some international affairs, but I never really thought about being a diplomat, because international relations is people usually associate international relations with embassy, ambassadors, diplomats, and stuff. So let's say it's an accident, but once I got into this major, once I got into classes, it turns out that I'm in love with this major.
Yeah. So, what made you? You say that you participate, and took international relations as a major unpurposely, and then you kind of like fell in love with it. You can maybe tell us some reasons why you are getting interested more in international relations.
Because in international relations, I learn about a lot of things. It's not a limited issues. Like, if you go to law school, if you go to economic school, it's like you only learn about laws in law school. In economic school, you only learn about economics. But when you go to international relations, you can explore more about yourself, which things that you really like. It's either you like about feminism, or about national security, or about international political and economy, or about even about corporations and international media. So it's like a wide open door for me in international relations.
So it's kind of like it's more on the macro sides, So we're not like internationalists, like international relations, like talking about the world, how you maybe increase your awareness of your surrounding, maybe increase your your care about social issues, something like that.
Well, actually, the truth about being an international relations student is it's prestigious.
Oh.
Actually, it's really prestigious, because when you go from when you're in a group, in a big group, or if you meet a new people, and if they start to talk about the current issues, either it's international politics, international economic, or even domestic politics, and you can catch the big picture about it, you don't need to master the issues. It's just like a quote that's saying, you don't have to master one particular thing. You are the jackal of everything. That's basically international relations students. So that's why it's quite prestigious for someone to be an international relations student, because you know a lot about everything, even though you don't master any of it.
I see. So I'm getting, but first thing is maybe you can, like tell us what international relations major are concerned with.
It concerns about a lot of things, actually. Like some people in international relations, some experts in international relations, they talk about migration, they talk about refugees, they talk about national security, they talk about economics, they talk about laws, they even talk about laws, international law. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't say like, what is actually your concern in international relations? It's actually your preference, which one makes you really comfortable. Do you comfortable with talking about refugees, migration, environment, women and children, national security, or even about nukes?
Oh, wow.
And nuclear.
So it's more than that. It's you can like maybe choose some of your preferences, some of topics that you're interested in. So it's kind of like having this various classifications of international relations. Yeah. So maybe you can talk. Let's talk about your experience. Starting the first year of international relations. Taking it as a major.
It was a hard time. I mean,
maybe like all the books are in English.
Yeah, all the reference, because this discipline is really let's call it new and young. So all the references, all the articles or the journals are mostly in English. So the first one, I have to learn how to catch the big picture of issues, and the second one, I have to learn English. So it's quite hard, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So our conversations were just like heating up. Yeah. And you would like to know more about international relations, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right after the break, still on Face to Face. Hello viewers, welcome back still on Face to Face. We were just talking about international relations, and we have on this our studio here we have one of international relations student in Binus University, Natasha. So let's talk about what what were left behind before the break. So we were just talking about your first year experience as an international relations student. Maybe you can, talk about your, your experience, maybe you struggle, or you can talk more about that.
Well, like I've already said earlier, it was a hard time for me because, you were from high school. We usually just memorize things, memorize the subjects or everything. Like every time we need to take the test, we just need to memorize things. Yeah. When the first year, when the first semester that I got in this major, I could no longer memorize things because my lecturer will give me a big 0 if I just memorize things.
Oh, yeah.
So they demanded us to understand, the understanding, not to memorize, and to catch the big picture of one article. I mean, you can imagine how hard it is for a high school student to understand those things, those like a really unusual things.
Important issues.
Yeah, the current issues, the international affairs for high school student that recently graduated.
So for your high school background, did you took like social or science? Or
I took social science actually.
Social science.
To be honest, it doesn't help. It doesn't help whether you are from social science or natural science. In high school, it doesn't really help.
Oh, so it's more, to like different.
It's really different from high school. Yeah. So yeah, if you're going to take international relations major, I suggest you to read a lot about everything, especially the current affairs and international issues. It will help you. Yeah.
So yeah, you were just talking about your first year experience. Maybe you found some some interesting topics or some interesting some interest that you might like in this major. Like you previously said, the international relations discussed about migration, environmental issues. Maybe you are you're particularly more into like what?
I tend to like international political economy more than the other fields in international relations. And it's not like the economic student that learn. In international political economy, you have to learn the economic aspect, and at the very same time you have to learn about the social aspect and the political aspect as well. So you have to, back again, you have to understand the big picture about everything.
So it's kind of like economy in the political point of view. So it's like that.
The maneuvers and stuff, the political maneuvers and stuff, that you have to understand that economic is not only purely about economic, but there's some influences, like from the bureaucrats, from the people, from the public opinion. When the government wants to make a policy, when they want to decide things, they have to think about what the people think, what the public thinks.
Oh yeah, so it's quite interesting. Then maybe you are, you know, you don't. Maybe there are some fields that you particularly are not interested in. Maybe. Along, you know, based on your experience, is this your second year or like?
No, this September gonna be my 4th year, my
Oh,
final year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you learned a lot. So maybe you know there are some topics that need special, you know, special care or something.
Let's say I'm not really interested in even though it's really interesting maybe for other people, the war and peace.
No.
Like if you knew about this the war in Middle East and stuff, because for me actually when you're talking about war, actually it's not a war, it's you're fighting for the economic resources. So back again, it's about economic, it's not about the war. People can talk about the war, about the weapons, about the soldiers, the troops, and
but the main objective.
Yeah, but actually the thing that you pursue is the economic resources.
So like how you deal with the war, how do you deal with the war, and then how you know create negotiations or like peace treaty, something like that.
This is what really hard about learning about war and peace. Like first one, you have to realize, you have to know, you have to recognize about the law of conducting war.
Oh.
There is a law, there is an international law about how to conduct a war.
Oh, okay.
And you have to, like at the very same time, you know, you want to conduct a war, you want to declare a war to other nation.
Oh yeah.
And at the very same time, you have to remember that there is a law that regulate how to conduct a war. Like how could you imagine, like how could you separate your mind, you want to conduct a war and you have to remember the regulation about how to conduct a war.
So you're not interested, you're more interested in the peacemaking. Okay, maybe. And you know, maybe you have, you know, activities that are related to international relations, maybe like, you know, joining a club or, you know, like what you said before, like birds, yeah?
Oh yeah, so I'm a debate team member. So basically, when I go to join a competition, basically it's back again, it's about international relations. When you go for a competition, a debate competitions, it can be about, you know, talking about drones, the use of drones, the cluster bombs. Yeah, the cluster bombs. If you know what the cluster bombs, and about the Middle East war right now that is happening, or about even about the Ebola.
Oh yeah, so like it like you have to kind of like masters a lot of big topics.
The jackal of everything.
And maybe you have other, you know, previous experiences, you know, maybe like joining, you know, like a student society or something, or.
No, actually, I join organizations outside Binus, actually.
Oh, yeah. So maybe you can tell us more about that. Is it related to international relations?
Is it allowed to say
like you
organizations? The name of the organizations? No.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can, you know. Is it related to the international relations? Or is it your preference?
It is. It is.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it is. I'm going to do an internship in a. I'm not gonna say the name of the organization. Yeah. This organization, they're running for the human rights.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially about what happened in 1998.
Oh, so
about the murderers of the students, the university students, when there was a coup d'etat in 1998.
Oh, so it's
So, yeah.
actually
Yeah, human
related
rights
to
is
also,
related
yeah,
to international relations.
So maybe we can talk more about that. But before that, we're gonna have to take a little break. So we're gonna continue these discussions, this interesting discussion. Stay right here, still on Face to Face. Welcome back to Face to Face, and for this episode we're discussing about international relations major in Binus University, and we have here one of the students in who are taking international relations in Binus University, and we were just discussing about you know, your other activities that are not involved in just academic purposes, but maybe getting experience from communities or student societies, and you you joined one of international relations related activities, which is
it's called as himpunan mahasiswa hubungan internasional in Binus.
In Binus, oh.
It's only been 2 years for this association.
Yeah, maybe you can talk more about the association.
Actually, it's just the same like the other associations, student associations in Binus, but we have this let's say special program. In our association, we have this a club, a dialectic club, which covers the MUN, the Model United Nations, and the debate.
Oh, so it's called Birds. Yeah, as you mentioned before. Yes. So maybe you previously you talk about activities. Maybe you can you know, explain those activities more, like. You know, maybe you have certain programs or activities on the club.
On the club, actually, in this club we aim to join as many competitions as we can, because when you're talking about joining competitions, when you're talking about winning competitions, it's a matter of how many competitions that you ever join. So for this year, yeah, that's what well, any clubs want to win competitions, right? Okay. But if you only join like 1 or 2 competitions, you are not. It's not 2 competitions. You're not going to win anything at all. So yeah, we're trying to send our club members to join as many competitions. We really we push them to go outside, not to only come to the training, but never join competitions. That's what we're doing. We are pushing them to join competitions outside.
So, what are the competitions that Birds had joined?
Actually, we had joined quite competitions. For the MUN competitions, the Model United Nations, we joined like, one of them is Brawijaya Model United Nations, when one of our club members, he got the 2nd place on that competition. So yeah, basically the Model United Nations is talking about the simulation of international conference in United Nations. So you come as the representative of one nation and talking about particular issue, and you have to remind it that you have interest, that your country has interest in this particular issue in this conference. So you have to bear it on your mind that you have to achieve this interest on this particular conference, so that what you are doing, lobbying, negotiating, like a real diplomat.
So there are judges also.
Yeah, there are the judges that called as the board of directors, the chairman. They're framing, not framing. They're regulating the conference. Yeah.
Kind of like they're evaluating like the members' maybe like negotiation skills or lobbying skills, something like that.
No, they're like when I say they regulate, they're just like they're trying to make the conference be more conducive for the representatives in there. Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't really do things. They hand it to the representatives. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like maybe what are your thoughts about birds? The birds' performance. It's been like 2 years or.
Yeah, it's been for 2 years.
2 years, like maybe there are upcoming activities or like upcoming competitions that birds want to join.
Oh well, actually, he is going to hold a MUN competition, if I'm not mistaken, this October or November, and it is a national scope. MUN for national scope. So we are going to invite universities in Jakarta and outside Jakarta to join our competition.
So it's the first time.
Yeah, this is our first competition that we hold.
Yeah. So maybe for other university have done it, so you're gonna have, you're gonna invite.
Yeah, because we already joined their competitions. Yeah. So this is our time to invite them to join our competitions. That's how the things work in MUN.
Yeah. So are you like contributing to the the process of making this event?
Yeah, I will take part as the substantive team in this competition. So there is 2 teams. This competition divided into 2 teams. The first teams is that organize about the substantive, about the substantive of the competition, the theme, the topics, and the study guide and stuff. And the second one is the those who organize the technical things.
Technical aspects of the competitions, like so like the competitions is kind of like modeling the like try to emulate this modeling UN. Are there any like simulations, or are there any activities that are related to international relations besides MUN simulations, like international conference? Maybe?
Well, actually there's a lot like there's international youth conference when we talk about particular issues that being held, and there's also, well, basically if you're an international relations student, you can talk about everything. You're faffing about everything. You're faffing. That's the art of being an international relations student.
Yeah, there are like a lot of international youth conference that
the conference that
was held in Jakarta a lot,
or that is held abroad. Yeah, there's a lot. Actually, there's a lot of conference that talking about environment or the interreligious dialogue. Actually,
so that's considered like an international relations also,
even interreligious dialogue is part of international relations
studies. So that's maybe you can talk, like based on your previous experience as one of the members, and also I believe the president of the first year of Himpunan. The association, maybe you can talk about some memorable or distinctive experience that you experienced, maybe.
The most memorable thing about being in the association is because I am the double minority in my major. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
That's the first minority. The first category, I'm a woman. And the second one, I am the nerd of my class. So it's like a double minority. I'm a double minority. The most memorable thing is like I used to only like go into campus and then go home, and then I have to take care like almost 300 students back then under the association. I have to like go out and talk to many people. I have to listen to many people. I have to, you know, listen to many complaints from various people. And but actually what's really fun is to solve the problems. Like in the association, in one organization, you will find many creative people, many people that can lead, that can be the leaders. But actually what's really fun for me being in that association is to be the problem solver. When you had problems, you have problems, and no one like hands up, no one can take care of it, and it has to be you that take care of the problem.
So that's quite a memorable experience.
Yeah.
And you know, what do you feel after you finished being the the president, being the listener of the association? What have you learned? Yeah.
I learned a lot of things. Well, but the first one after I finish my period is I'm so relieved.
Oh, okay.
I'm so relieved. Like you are bearing so many burdens on your shoulder, and eventually you're free. You have no burdens on your shoulder anymore. But actually, I learned a lot of things like that. You have to learn to listen. You have to sometimes you have to shut up and just listen.
Be a good listener.
Be a good listener, and then you have to think really fast and creative, especially when things that you have planned, it doesn't go how it's supposed to be, and you have to be creative. You have to be like, you will do anything to make things go as it has to be. It has to be.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, that's some lessons that you learn being the previous presidents for him here. So we will continue the conversations right after the break, still on Face to Face. Hi viewers, welcome back to Face, the English spoken programs, and we were just discussing about international relations and the major that is in Binus University, and we have one of the students right here, and we were just discussing about your participations as the leader in the student association relating to international relations. Yeah, and we previously talked about your experience, and the lessons that you learned, and maybe now we can talk about, is it necessary for university students to take organizations related to the major they are taking, as an experience, as as handling an organizational experience?
Well, it is really necessary for students to join an organizations, but I will not say it's necessary to be related to their major.
Oh.
I mean, as long as you join organizations, it's fine because you want to make a good CV, right? And the way to make a good CV is to join organizations. So people out there, they will believe that you can communicate well, that you can work in team, and you know how to handle people.
So that's quite, some benefits that...
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits.
They're recommended.
Especially when you're the president. There's a lot of benefits.
And looking forward to the future, like maybe do you want to take particular professions relating to international relations as your major, maybe? Like you said before, you are currently taking an internship, or...
Well, actually, I've put a lot of consideration in women and children. Yeah, especially young women. So in the future, I think I'm going to join a non-governmental organization that work in to empower young women and children. Like the UN Women, the body of UN, the body of United Nations that work to empower women and children, the UN Women.
Okay, so there are like, is there any like representatives in Indonesia relating to, women, or take care of those kind of issues? Is there?
Yeah, actually, the recruitment of the staffs of UN is held around the world, including in Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
So when the recruitment is open, you can join the recruitment.
Wow,
They're looking for civil people to join them in United Nations.
Oh yeah, so that's quite a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
And maybe based on the experience that you have, maybe you would like to share, like for high school students, who are interested in taking international relations as their major. Maybe you would like to give some insights, or some kind of like motivations or something. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Don't be afraid that to join international relations major. It's not that hard, but it's not that easy as well. You have to read a lot. You have to aware about the current issues, about the international affairs, and you have to learn how to write.
Oh,
I mean, probably in most schools in Indonesia, let's say, not the international one, the regular one, the regular schools in Indonesia, it's not really usual for the high school students to write an essay.
Yeah.
That's actually the biggest weakness of the high school students of the regular school. But when it comes to the international schools, the students usually it's usual for them to write an essay.
Oh, so it's kind of like the main concern.
Yeah, it's actually the main concern, because when we are in international relations, what we're doing is you're writing, you're reading, and you're presenting.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we are doing in international relations.
And also listen.
And also listen.
Listen to particular issues to deal with that, yeah, and negotiate. Like, I'm curious about, like, are there like any kind of specific, like you have to have some creations, like having an essay or an article, discussing about particular issues that later on will be published or something? Is there any like journals or international relations students in university, necessary to have that as specific assignments?
Writing an essay, paper, and review is not. It's our daily assignments. Actually, that's our daily assignments.
Like case analysis, something.
Yeah, how you analyze the issue, how you give options relating to the issue. So it's basically like the economic people will know the cost-benefit analysis that what we are doing. When we are writing an essay, when we are writing a paper, we have to give an option or options for the parties that involved in that issue, in that particular issue, what they have to do, what is the cost, what is the benefits. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
You know, are the lecturers having, you know, significant, you know, like support on, you know, on teaching, on giving lectures about international relations also?
Oh, they're eager to teach us. They're really eager to teach us. I mean, because most of the lecturers are young lecturers, so they're really eager, they're keen to teach us about international relations, and they're really pushing us to explore more and more, you know, not only by our writings, but also joining any, you know, conferences, competitions outside. Yeah, not only about our academic life, but also our, you know, our soft skill.
So the lecturers also have a significant, like, support on.
Yeah, they're really supportive.
Yeah. So any, you know, any specific, you know, motivations that you want to give, you know, regarding of international relations, other students, you know, maybe?
Well, it's quite prestigious to be an international relations student. Nothing is really hard, especially when you are used to it. If you find difficulties in writings or reading, just try to push yourself more. Just push your limit and you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so Natasha, thank you for, you know, having a little, you know, nice discussions right here, discussing about international relations. So be sure to tune in again to Face to Face at the same time and the same airtime. And meanwhile, I'm William Grinaldi, and right here our guest Natasha, signing off for this episode of Face to Face. See you in another time.